Now, next topic is cross slope or camber. It is the slope provided to the road surface in the transverse direction to drain off the rainwater from the road surface. Simply, cross slope or camber, we can say it is always raised at the middle and slanting towards the edges. Very well, you remember the road. Many a times when you move along the road, you can see that the center portion of the road is always raised and it slants downward towards the road edges. That portion, raised portion, is called as a camber. Now, what exactly is the purpose of this? This helps to prevent the entry of surface water into the subgrade soil through pavement. This helps to prevent the entry of water into the bituminous pavement layer. It helps to remove the rainwater from the pavement surface as quickly as possible and to allow the pavement to get dry soon after the rain. It is expressed as the percentage of one vertical as to one horizontal. Make a correction here. One vertical is to one horizontal. It depends on the pavement surface and amount of rainfall. Also, we can say that there are different types of camber, or there are different shapes like parabolic camber, straight camber, and combination of parabolic and straight. So, what exactly is parabolic camber? I'll just tell you. Parabolic camber is flat at the middle and steeper towards the edges, and it is best suited for fast moving vehicles because they frequently travel in the middle portion of the road, which is flatter in trajectory. Okay, then what is straight camber? This will be preferred for the rigid pavement, that is cement concrete pavement. Here the slope is always 1:1. And third one, combination of parabolic and straight. Here the middle portion in the form of parabola and the edges should be in the form of straight line. Means it is a combination of 1 and 2. Sometimes it is preferred as it have the advantage of straight as well as parabolic camber. It is based from all the consideration. So many a times we have to consider this combination of parabolic and straight line camber for the construction. Now there are also some recommended values of camber for different types of road surfaces. So here you can see types of road surface, range of camber in the area of rainfall ranges. This is an important topic for you. Okay, so this is very important. These are all the values recommended by IRC. Many times in exam also this question is asked. So if the type of road is cement concrete and high type bituminous pavement, okay, then if the rainfall is heavy, in that case you have to provide a camber of 1 in 50, that is 2%. And if the rainfall is light, okay, then 1 in 60 is recommended, that is 1.7%. If the type of road is thin bituminous surface, then for heavy rainfall terrain you have to provide 1 in 40, that is 2.5%. For light rainfall range you have to provide 1 in 50, that is 2%. If the type of road surface you are going to provide is WBM, that is waterbound macadam road and gravel pavement, then for the rainfall which is heavy you have to provide it as 1 in 33, that is 3%. And if there is a light rainfall in the terrain you have to provide it 1 in 40, that is 2.5%. And lastly, if the type of road is earthen road and if the rainfall is heavy, then 1 in 25 is recommended, that is 4%. And if it is light rainfall range, then 1 in 33, that is 3%, is highly recommended. So we will stop here and continue in next lecture. Curb. What is exactly the curb? The boundaries between the pavement and the shoulder or footpath are known as curb. Okay, we'll see the figures what exactly, then you'll very well understand about it. It is desirable to provide curbs in urban areas. Also, there are three types of curbs. So firstly, low or mountable curb. It allows the driver to enter the shoulder area with little difficulty. Means there are some space provided between two curbs. Then the height of this type of shoulder curb is about 10 cm above the pavement edge with slope to help the vehicle climb the curb easily. Second is semi barrier curb. It is provided on the periphery of the roadway where the pedestrian traffic is high, height of about 15 centimeter above the pavement edge with a batter of 1:1 on the top, 7.5 centimeter. It provides a parking. It prevents parking the vehicle, but during emergency, it is possible to drive over the curb with some difficulty. And thirdly, barrier type curb. It is provided in built up area adjacent to the footpaths with considerable pedestrian traffic. The height of the curb is about 20 centimeter with the pavement edge with a steep batter of 1 vertical is to 2.5 horizontal. If you want to see, so here we can very well see that what exactly are the type of curb provided. Okay, so many a times when we move along we have seen all these types of curbs. Okay, so this is all the resemblance provided. Now next is guardrail. It is provided at the edge of the shoulder when the road is constructed on a fill exceeds 3 meter. It is also provided on horizontal curve so as to provide a better night visibility of the curves under the headlight of the vehicle. So these are the guardrails. So for what it is provided, it helps to prevent the vehicle to not let the vehicle to move offshores. Okay, so these are the figure showing the guardrails. Okay, then road margins. First, parking lane. These are provided on urban roads to allow curb parking. Okay, as far as possible, only parallel parking should be allowed as it is safer for moving vehicle. It should have sufficient width, say 3 meter. So parking lane should have a width of 3 meter. Then lay-by. These are provided near the public convenience with guide map to ensure driver to stop clear of the carriageway. It has 3 meter width, 30 meter length and 15 meter end tapered on both sides. Bus bays. This may be provided by uh, recessing the curb to avoid conflicts with moving traffic. It is located at least 75 meter away from the intersections. Then frontage road. These are provided to give access to properties along an important highway with control access to expressway or freeway. It may run parallel to the highway and are isolated by the separators. Driveway. It connects the highway with the commercial establishment like fuel station, service station. It should be located away from the intersections. Driveway. Then cycle tracks. It is provided in urban area with the when the volume of cycle traffic on the roadway is very high. A minimum width of 2 meter is provided for the cycle track. And lastly, footpaths. These are provided in urban areas when the vehicular as well as pedestrian traffic are heavy to protect the pedestrians and decrease the accidents on the road. Width of this pedestrian footpath is generally provided of 1.5 meter. So here you can see all of this one by one. So these are lay-bys. Here you can see all these are provided. Okay, so these are the bus bay, means the bus will stop here. There will be no interference with the ongoing moving traffic. Here you can see the frontage road, right? Frontage road. So these are all the types of paths. Here is the cross section of highway in hilly areas. So if the road is hilly area, how should be the road pattern? So here you can see very well how should be the trajectory of the road, what should be the carriageway, how should be the road traversed. This is the cross section of the road in built up area if on the same hilly area. Now this is the cross section of flexible pavement. Flexible pavement means bituminous road, we can say. So now this, see, at the center we can see that it is a raised one, and slowly it is decreasing towards the edges. So ultimately this is called as a camber. This much portion is carriageway. This is a shoulder. Total width, carriageway plus shoulder, is called as a roadway width. Similarly, cross section of a rigid pavement, again it is same, carriageway, shoulder, together it is called as a roadway width.